A very good morning to our beloved lecturer Ponsiti Aisha Binti Ali and my dear friends. Today we are going to present about the biggest challenges for the global supply chain in the 2025. My name is Kishantini Perumal together with my team members Rina Ravikumar, Marisha Thamaselvam and then Vigneswari Arumugam. Let's define what is a global supply chain is. A global supply chain is a network of interconnected businesses and logistical systems that across national borders to produce and deliver goods to consumers worldwide. It includes every step from raw material extraction to manufacturing and assembly to storage, packaging, and final delivery to end users. For example, making a car might involve steel from India, electronic chips from Taiwan, assembly in Thailand, and final sales in Europe. These supply chains offer cost advantage and efficiency, but they are extremely sensitive to distribution. Even a delay in one region, like a port closure or factory strikes, can delay entire production lines everywhere.
Global supply chains are not just logistical systems, they are the backbone of global trade. They allow countries to import what they cannot produce, export what they specialize in, and participate in international commerce. Without global supply chain, we wouldn't have smartphones, affordable foods, clothing, vehicles, or medicine at today's scale and cost. They also create millions of jobs and enable collaboration across borders. However, when disruption occur, we feel the effect directly. Prices go up, shelves go empty, and business suffer. That's why understanding supply chain management is so important in today's interconnected world.
So in 2025, the global supply chain faces five mainly challenges that affect nearly every industry. So firstly, geopolitical instability, including wars, trade registration, and diplomatic conflicts. The second one is labor shortage, especially in the logistic and manufacturing caused by demographic shift and post-pandemic changes. The third one is the growing demand for sustainable and ethical practices as companies are held accountable for carbon emissions and worker treatment. So fourth one is logistic issues like overloaded ports, rising fuel prices, and extreme weather events. And finally, um, cybersecurity risks as more supply chain system go digital and become target for hackers. So now we'll explore each of these in more detail.
Geopolitical instability is one of the most significant threats to global supply chain. For an example, the Russia-Ukraine conflict has led to massive disruptions in the supply of natural gas, wheat, metals, and more. This is as caused price icon in food and fuel across Europe and beyond. Meanwhile, tensions between China and at the USA affect the tech industry, particularly microcontrollers and consumer electronics. Companies fear supplies bans, sections, and are insistent to rely on religions. As a result, many firms are now regionalizing their supply chains, setting up multiple factories in different regions to reduce risk and avoid bottlenecks.
A major problem in 2025. Many workers left the manufacturing and logistical sectors during COVID 19 and never returned. Others retired earlier or changed careers, leaving companies short staffed. In response, companies are investing in automation, robotics aims in warehouse, AI powered routine systems, and autonomous delivery vehicles. But automation isn't perfect. It requires upfront investment and retraining. There are also ethical concerns about replacing human workers too quickly. Companies must balance efficiency with responsibility.
Sustainability and environmental, social, and governance (ESG) standards are now essential part of supply chain strategy. Governments are enforcing strict regulation like the EU's carbon border adjustment, which taxes import with high carbon footprints. Consumers want to know that their products are ethically made and environmentally safe. Companies are reducing emissions, switching to renewable energy, and working only with certified suppliers. Many now publish ESG report each year, tracking progress in sustainability and ethical sourcing. Those who ignore ESG risk losing market trust and facing fines.
So even after COVID-19, logistic disruptions continue to challenge global supply chains. Ports are still congested, containers are misallocated, and freight prices are remain high. For example, shipping a container from Shanghai to Rotterdam may now take 45 days instead of 30 and is costing twice as much. And natural disasters like floods in India or typhoons in South Asia shut down ports and highways. To adapt, companies are investing in real-time tracking system and predictive analytics and multiple shipping partners.
For more information, as the supply chain become more digital, they also become more vulnerable to cyber threats. In 2017, a ransomware attack shut down Maersk, one of the world's largest shipping company, halting operation in 130 countries and costing over 200 million in process. Hackers can now target shipping software, warehouse, automations, and even supplier portals. Companies must invest in strong cyberbullying systems, firewalls, backup the data, employees training, and to prevent this from the risk.
These challenges affect specific industries. The automotive industry still suffers from semiconductor shortage, especially as electric vehicles demand grows. The electronic sector faces delays in processors, batteries, and screens. In FMCG, fast moving consumer goods, companies struggle to get packaging materials and food ingredients on time. Every industry must build custom solution based on these unique risks and independencies.
Let's take a closer look at Toyota. Known for its just-in-time system, Toyota minimized inventory and emphasized speed and efficiency. But the pandemic and natural disaster exposed weakness. Chip shortage stopped production. In response, Toyota began stockpiling key components, adopting a multi-supplier approach, and using data platforms to monitor inventory and risks. Toyota also enforces ethical supplier policies and reports progress through its sustainability reports. This case shows how even global leaders must adapt to remain competitive.
And so, ethics are now a top priority in supply chains. Forced labor, unsafe conditions, and child exploitation have been found in industry like textiles, electronics, and cocoa farming. For example, the use of Uyghur labor in Xinjiang has caused many companies to cut ties with Chinese suppliers. Brands like Nestle and Mars face global pressure to eliminate child labor in cocoa supply chains. And so today's consumer expect transparency, and ethical sourcing is no longer optional and it's a business necessity.
So, what can companies do? First, diversity supply chain to avoid overdependence. Second, adopt advanced technologies like AI, blockchain, and digital twins, tracking and forecasting. Third, commit to ethical standards and perform supplier audits regularly. Lastly, collaboration with governments and NGOs strengthen regulations and share best practice. These actions will help companies build religious and responsible supply chain.
A turning point. Challenges are increasing, but so are opportunity to improve. Companies that act strategically, invest in technology, and prioritize ethics will be the ones that succeed. We hope this presentation has helped you understand the importance of managing global supply chain in 2025. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to our presentation.